Today, I want to talk about something I've come to deeply question as an adult. Are Japanese schools actually training facilities to produce workers who can endure Japan's harsh corporate life? In this video, I'll look back on my own school experience as an ordinary Japanese person and try to analyze it through that lens. On this channel, I share real, unfiltered insights into Japanese society from the perspective of a Japanese person who has born and raised in this country. If you're interested in learning more about the reality of Japan, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So, let's begin. In Japanese schools, especially starting from high school, students are constantly told that the right path is to get into a good university and land a stable job, preferably at a big name company or in the public sector. To get there, we are forced into endless competition. There are frequent exams, constant ranking, and if your grades fall behind, you live with a persistent sense of inferiority. But if you think about it, shouldn't there be many different paths to success? Talented people might become entrepreneurs or investors. Others might pursue the arts or creative work instead of corporate life. But in school, we are not encouraged to explore those options. We are just pushed to compete with the ultimate goal of becoming a high-level corporate worker. It's like rat race where we are trained to become better rats. If you've ever watched anime set in schools, you might have heard of bukatsu, extracurricular clubs. They're supposed to be about having fun with friends through sports or hobbies, but looking back, I realized they were also a system for drilling us in stress tolerance and absolute hierarchy. Many student athletes, for example, are taught to respect older students more than they enjoy the sport itself. They get yelled by coaches and sneers, and they're expected to endure it quietly. Among the older generations, endurance is still strongly seen as a virtue. And honestly, even now as an adult, it feels like I'm living the same way, constantly flattering superiors and enduring unreasonable demands day after day. As I mentioned in a previous video, I believe Japan's intolerance for those who are different starts in its schools. Kids who are slightly different in background or who struggle with social cues quickly get labeled as weird or hard to get along with. Sometimes they even become targets of bullying, so most of us naturally learn to blend in. We are told over and over not to bother others or cause them trouble. This becomes a core principle in Japanese education. In other words, we learn how to suppress our individuality and maintain group harmony. And that just so happens to be the exact skill that Japanese companies lack. Ironically though, when we apply for jobs, we are judged not by our actual work ability, but by vague and frankly silly criteria like what we did outside of academics during students' life. What did you achieve outside of schoolwork? What makes you unique? But once you finally get through the interviews and start working, you can probably guess it. You're expected to fall in line and become just like everyone else. Of course, not all schools or teachers are like this, and recently I do think there's more flexibility in thinking, but still, it's hard to deny that at the core of the Japanese education system, there is a strong emphasis on obedience, conformity, and endurance. Follow instructions, blend in, forget silly dreams, just face reality and become a good worker. We might need to start questioning whether the system is truly serving the next generation. What do you think? Let me know through in the comments, especially how your own country's education system compares or what topics you'd like me to cover next. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like to this video. See you in the next one.